Here's a slick, expensive-looking video that tries to argue that evolution is a fantasy.
Why couldn't the human beings and other living organisms have all originated from other simple primates? There are two illogicalities here. First, there is not one single evidence proving a major evolutionary development.
What do you mean by proving, and what do you mean by major evolutionary development? You know that we have observed the emergence of new mutations? We've observed new beneficial mutations? We've even observed speciation. What more do you want to see? Every time you show a creationist examples of observed evolution, they move the goalpost and say that they need to see even bigger evolutionary changes unfold. If we were to observe the development of a new genus, they'd ask to see a new family evolve. If you showed them a new family, they'd ask to see a new order. If you showed them a new order, they'd ask for a new class, etc. And of course they ask for this evidence disingenuously, because even if we observed a whole new kingdom evolved, they would just say, well, that doesn't prove that that's how other organisms developed. Everything else was made by God.
By evolutionary development, we mean the transition of one species into another form of species. Scientists have never been able to verify or spot a single evidence on a transition from species to another, and all of these are just mere speculations.
Not true. Just Google observed speciation and you'll find lots of examples of observed transitions from one species to another.
So, how can an atheist choose to believe in a speculative evidence and deny our religion-based solid evidence?
Transitions from one species to another are observed, not speculative, and religion-based solid evidence is a contradiction in terms.
According to the minimum gene set concept, no living organism, no matter how primary, can go below 200 genes.
Yes, but mutation and natural selection doesn't start at the level of a full organism. It starts well before the first cell develops. It starts at the level of chemistry before it can even be called biology.
Nature magazine stated in their issue dated 6 January 2006 that we could never go below the border of 397 genes. Energy production alone requires at least 6 genes. And if one single gene is missing, the cell will not be able to provide any energy.
Self-replicating molecules don't need a cell to provide them with energy in order to copy themselves. Cells are not the only source of energy.
Likewise, each and every basic function requires a minimum number of genes.
No, it doesn't.
Scientists have found that mycoplasma is the most accurate living organism on Earth. It has 468 genes, and each one of these genes contains complex proteins that could be within the range of 1,000 to 10,000 amino acids. Hence, if you have 3 billion specialized pieces of information, these pieces of information are embedded inside the nucleus of each of your cells to produce precise vital functions, or even 11,000 pieces of information, then you are facing a giant treasure of specialized information that has suddenly materialized.
No, it hasn't suddenly materialized. It evolved from pre-cellular chemical processes.
Atheists fantasize that there were beings that emerged from a count of 0 genes.
I don't know if you can go without any genes at all, but perhaps the first self-replicating molecules were just one gene. I see no reason to believe that this would be improbable. To everyone who helps me out on Patreon, you're a big help. Thanks so much.